Woman is taken by a man to a horse barn for a thrilling game. The man blindfolds her and the woman is filled with anticipation. However, when the woman removes the blindfold, she realizes that her limbs are tied. At this point, she realizes that something is wrong and quickly asks the man what this is all about. The horseman's eyes were fierce and the man said the game was called a horse race. Then the horses slowly moved forward and the woman was yanked up in the air. The man swung down his whip with such force that in an instant blood and flesh were splattered everywhere. The woman's limbs were dragged off alive, while the man looked excited, as if he had done something great. By the end of the night, the woman's companions are having a barbecue party, and the villagers are warmly entertained with a large table full of meat. But the companions don't realize that the meat is the woman's, and the boyfriend picks up the meat with the woman's tattoo and takes a big bite out of it. This is a horrible village. The whole village is allergic to pork, so they only eat human flesh. They purposely put up road signs to direct tourists to this place. The tourists look at the beautiful scenery and come over for a vacation. The villagers provide them with the best accommodations and do everything the tourists need. But as soon as night came, the village chief called the villagers together to discuss how to kill the tourists to make them into delicacies. After killing more people, they began to think about how to kill would be more interesting. At night, a beautiful woman stands downstairs and makes an offer to the man. The man was so excited that he immediately went to the woman's house. The village girl took out a tube and inserted it into the man's mouth. The man felt so excited that he obeyed the village girl and swallowed the contents of the tube into his stomach. Suddenly she felt a sharp pain in her abdomen and her body began to smoke. It turned out that the village girl had poured concentrated sulfuric acid into him, and the man was burned alive in this way. The next morning, David and his group were ready to leave the place, but they were stopped by the village chief just as they left the house. The mayor invites them to a dinner party before they leave, and David agrees. What he didn't know was the nightmare that awaited him. This is a weird village where the villagers never buy meat, but they have it all the time. In the afternoon sunshine, a man was pressed on the table. Two beautiful women with a big iron stick straight into the man's body. The man was made into human meat skewers. This day David found abnormal. Here two small friends disappeared strangely. He wanted to hurry to leave, which was stopped by the village chief. Let them stay a few more days. David had no choice but to promise the villagers to take them to experience the target shooting game. One by one, the darts flew past the target, but they did not know that the target is the missing partner's head. On the other hand, the beautiful woman was pushed to the center of the stage by the villagers, who couldn't wait to see the show. Suddenly, the woman's face changed. The villagers cheered. The woman's partner ran away in fear, but the next second, the man was held down on the table, the stick through his body into a human kebab. Seeing their companions disappear one by one, David and the others began to suspect the village. When they tried to escape, they were stopped by the village chief, who took out a long sword and put it in front of them, apparently threatening them not to leave casually, either to die or to stay. David can only pretend to obey. The villagers like guarding the prey staring at them, while the village chief is discussing how to eat them. Will David make it out alive? The man comes for a farm-to-table meal, but is surrounded by villagers on death's doorstep. The village chief looks smug and claims to be taking Black for an exciting game. Black is knocked out by a guitar shot and wakes up to find himself tied to a stone bench. At the village chief's command, several villagers begin to push a huge lever, which turns with the roof attached. Immediately afterward, a huge slab of stone slowly presses down on hay. It turned out that the house was a giant vice, and in less than 3 seconds, the stocky big brother was crushed into a piece of pie, while the villagers were frantically grabbing for the squeezed juice. So far, the only tourists left are David and his girlfriend. David finds his partner's motorcycle and tries to leave, but he doesn't realize that a man has been waiting for a long time. Before David realizes what's going on, he is shot by the man with a slingshot. When he wakes up, he is tied up at the dinner table, and his girlfriend has been captured by the villagers. The village headman announces that David is the headliner of the evening, a reward for all the hard work the guys have been doing all this time. The villagers cheered enthusiastically, and before the meal started, the village chief wanted to play a game. So they told David that if he could kill his girlfriend with his own hands, then he could let you out of here. They handed David a kitchen knife, who knew that David took the knife and cut at a villager, and then untied his girlfriend's rope. The mayor of the village looked at David quite tough, so he had a man-to-man competition. He was quickly overpowered by David's age. Faced with David's threats, the village chief agreed to let them go and show the two a way out of the area. David runs away with his girlfriend on a motorcycle, and the two come to the police station to report the case. But when the police arrive at the village, there is a desolate cemetery in front of them, and the lively village is long gone. The tombstone is engraved with a portrait of the village headman, which states that all the villagers of this village died in the Civil War between the North and the South. Did they hit a ghost? The two men mowed their motorcycle home, but suddenly the car stopped, and in front of them was a bloodied wire. The boy carried the heads of the two men forward proudly, and then disappeared. Do you think cannibal villages exist?